Hello everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Max, and today I wanted to talk about WandaVision Episode 6. Alright, so WandaVision Episode 6 came out yesterday, and it was an incredible episode, much like the previous ones. And I think this episode was really based around kind of revelations for a lot of the characters, but specifically Wanda and Vision. So we know now that Vision is at least semi-conscious of what's going on. He knows that things are not right in Westview, and he's trying to kind of figure things out. So he eventually, tries to break through the kind of hexagon bubble or force field, whatever you'd like to call it, and he's essentially not able to escape. He's being pulled in fragment by fragment, and he would have probably died or, gone back to being dead, however they're going to play around with that, if Wanda did not expand the bubble and kind of repiece him back together. That not only tells us that Vision knows what's going on, but that Wanda knows that something is kind of up with him, and she's able to control him and keep him within the world that she's created. Now, Wanda's becoming a lot more aware of kind of the reality of things. We saw Pietro, who's played by Evan Peters, the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, and in a shot of this episode, we see that Wanda looks at him and he has the bullet holes that the Quicksilver from the MCU movies had, kind of signifying that her brother's dead and she needs to realize that, much like with Vision and having the stone ripped out of his head and being gray. So people have kind of debated whether this is Quicksilver, and I think it probably is to an extent, and probably with all the stuff we know that's going on with the multiverse, I think it's highly probable that this is the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, and he was just brought over and Wanda's kind of seeing things, because I think that's what's really happening. In my opinion, Vision somehow was brought back to life, or he was reanimated by Wanda, and I think Evan Peters and his iteration of Quicksilver are alive as well, because Wanda, Vision, the kids, and Quicksilver all kind of think independently, whereas everybody else in the town is really controlled by Wanda. Like, you can see they're controlled. They're trying to make sure everything is right for Wanda, whereas Vision's questioning things. Pietro goes out of his way to kind of, be real with Wanda about Vision's death, and Wanda's really not having any of it. So I think it could come down to everybody versus Wanda, and maybe like the shot we saw in the trailers where she's breaking apart the Infinity Stone. Maybe that's, maybe Vision was brought back to life and Wanda found the stone after Captain America placed them in, the different time periods or whatever. And maybe at that point she kills Vision and the multiverse is opened up, or, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but that's really kind of where I'm going with this. Is I think it'll come down to Wanda versus Vision, and the one who will make it out is probably going to be Wanda. But I'd like if they both survived. But I think just based off of certain things we've seen in the trailers, and then also kind of what we know about Vision's death and the reanimation of his corpse, most likely by Wanda, that it's the most likely scenario at this point. But overall, I love this episode. There hasn't been an episode I haven't liked, but with this one, I liked the comic accurate costumes. I thought it was really funny since, we haven't really seen anything, especially for Wanda, that resembles her costume other than the color red. And so seeing her in the kind of, Scarlet Witch getup was a really cool nod to the comics, and is something I think Marvel probably won't do, or at least they'll do a kind of a modern take on it if they do go that route. But it was still really cool to see either way. I thought seeing the residents of Westview kind of glitching or being frozen was a really eerie and really great thing to add to the episode, because it lets us know that Wanda controls all these people, but she just kind of keeps them how she needs them. Like, it seemed like when people are needed, like Agnes, they'll be brought in. But on the other hand, there's a few characters who are aware, as I mentioned before, Vision, Pietro, Wanda, and their kids. So I would love to see kind of how the town is as it expands, because in the end of the episode, we saw that Wanda expanded the hexagon shape and the force field, or the world, the magic. She expanded it even more. So now there's like a car dealership, and all of SWORD and the FBI's stuff was kind of taken over and turned into like circus tents, and SWORD agents were turned into clowns. And I think it'll just be really interesting to see how much this world builds within the last couple episodes of this show. As always, I got to give a shout out to Darcy and Jimmy Woo, the comedy relief of the show without a doubt. I mean, other characters are funny. Like, I think Quicksilver had some good lines in here. Vision always, you know, has a few things to say, but they really are the driving comedy-centric points of the show. And seeing Jimmy Woo punch those people was probably one of the highlights of this episode for me, for sure, because it's just so funny. Like, in the past episodes, you know, he's talking about how he doesn't like to speak ill of his peers, and then he's always kind of the quirky guy in Ant-Man. You know, it took him forever to learn his card trick so he can try and look impressive. And then seeing him really just decide to kind of take things into his own hands when he punched that guy, I cracked up. Because it was just so out of character, but also the evolution of Jimmy Woo. Like, I feel like he finally understands that he needs to be, you know, powerful in a sense. And I really can't wait to see where his character goes from here. So overall, really liked that episode. There were a lot of cool things in it, and it built the story up even more from, you know, kind of what we've been seeing and how it's going. And I can't wait to see where it goes from here. So I'll give that episode a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know if I've been rating the other episodes, but those were all around that realm as well. And it'll be really interesting to see where the series goes from there. So that's about all I have for now. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.